What's it like to be in Ramana Ashram when he was alive, Ramana Maharshi? Well, people would go, and mostly he would be silent. And people would be silent, and sometimes people would ask questions, and he would respond, or he would just stay silent. And one of the senses that I've gotten about the nature of reality, I don't mean the nature of the physical illusions that we call the world, but the inner reality, is that there comes a point where we're just very normal in the world. We do our job, whatever that is, to feed the body, take care of our shelter. We handle whatever challenges the world throws at us, but we aren't trying to fix the world. We may be working in a charity that's helping people fix their problems or campaigning for political rights. But we are still living in this state where let all things be as they are. And I think that the seeker dies. Like, you get far enough down the path of trying to understand what's true, which is really the path of looking at the blocks to truth. And you sort of consolidate where you are. Let all things be exactly as they are. Let me change my perception of what I'm looking at and of the perceiver. And gnosis takes over, like this process of coming to know the truth beyond illusions takes over. And I think for people like that, the atmosphere in the ashram of Ramana when he was alive was very similar. There were people coming that were kind of new to the path of spiritual inquiry, and I would say that was the majority. And that's common in the world. Like, most people in the world are not, like, they may have decency and a conscience, and maybe an atheist or a believer in God, but they're all pretty much the same in that they're very much, their mind is ruled by the thought system of the world, and they have the questions, and then like the mind, the chatter in the mind starts to drop away, and the pragmatism of life continues. But the victim mind dies, often with huge resistance or little resistance as you go further on. And this stillness and this quality of peace and self-awareness comes up more and more. I'm not saying that won't be married with extreme challenges, handling the insensitivity of a fairly shallow society, which I've been all over the planet. I've never, as people say, what's your favorite country? And I speak in response to qualities in the culture that I'm enamored by in each culture, and I can talk to every culture in that sense. They all have good points. And I speak to nature when I respond to those questions. But humans are pretty much the same all over the planet. They're either caught in the ego trap of the ego thought system, or they see through it, or they're getting to the point where they're ready to see through it. And the process of the bridge between getting to that point and then having seen through it fully, that's mastery at the level of meaning. Like, you can be a master archer or a master video player, but be a complete novice in the realm of wisdom. Like, you may have great wisdom on how to sail a boat, but I think wisdom is always like preoccupied with one thought. What is the root of all pain and sorrow? How do I pull it out in myself? And the person who masters that inquiry might be said to be related to meaning, and everyone else is like fast asleep for the most part. I mean, they know how to cuddle a baby, and they know how to wipe their ass, and they know how to but compared to that character that's just devoted to peace like nothing else, the mind is a battleground of defenses and attacks and judgments. It's just a story of the storied world. Wherever you go, and all the myths point to this, like the different myths are about the hero's journey out of that labyrinth into that quiet, symbolic ashram. You know, it's an act of grace that you're brought to a place like Ramana Ashram, because, you know, you can go there with all your ideologies about atheism or God, and none of them will last, right? Those ideologies are, you're going to the laundromat in your mind when you go to the symbolic ashram of Ramana Maharshi or the Course in Miracles. Like, that ashram is the home of the undoing of the root of all your pain.